you're wondering if the QuickJack TL6000 is right for you, check this out.
If you're tired of the old combination of jack and jack stands, then this is a great alternative for you. Not only does this provide lots more safety features, but it's also going to give you the height that you need.
Now these are not light. They also come with hooks to help you relieve some of that pressure, but I don't have those because I decided to just get what I could at the time and decided to hand jam it. So that's why it slammed like the way it did. They are heavy and they have 2 wheels, and that helps a little bit, but man, they are still pretty heavy to do. Now we need to reposition it so it's underneath the car perfectly where the jack points are at. So let's scoot it under there now. Now, in order to connect it, QuickJack gave us some quick connects that go on to the end of the hose here, and this goes into here, and the other one goes back to the pump, which I have on the other side. So it just really just take off the top, push it in, hopefully, and then it connects just like that. Then we're gonna route this wire underneath the car to the back of the pump. So let's go. Alright, so QuickJack gave us 4 of these and 4 of the small ones, and they have different thicknesses and they're about the same length. They are flat, and usually I use these, but because I can't find the other 2, we're gonna go ahead and go with the big ones, and I have enough room in there to use these. I'm going to take you down there so you can see exactly where the jack points are at and where to position these. So we're underneath the car right now. You can see the block is right here and the jack points are right here, and what we'll do is we'll slowly go up a little bit and then make sure they make contact with not only this side but with that side as well as the other side. And I will always triple check to make sure I am all the way on there until I fully commit to go all the way. I already have this side connected to the other one, so now we just take this one and push it in just like the other one. Just like that. So the pump is here, and you see the lines going to it, to the other side and to this side as well. We have our remote, and this is what I'll do. I'll slowly go up on it, making sure that we're not hitting anything that we're not supposed to over here. This mechanism right here is what keeps it. It's like your jack stand. This is typically this is just your jack stand right here. It's going to go up and it'll lock in place. Make sure we're lined up right. Make sure we're square there. And we'll go up just a little bit more to make sure. All right, it's making contact now. This side is good. And you got this side is good. Now we need to check the other side. This side didn't go up at all, which means there's probably air in the lines, which means I'm going to have to prep it. So let me go ahead and fix that. But this side went up a little bit. This side didn't budge. So let's check that. All right, so I just pumped it up and down a couple times, and we are good now. Now I just gotta adjust this just a little bit so it's right on there. When it goes up and down, it moves a little bit, so checking it a couple times before you actually commit and go all the way up is very beneficial. So we're good right there. So now we're gonna go up. No matter how many times I do this, I always get nervous still. Okay, now we're starting to go up a little bit more. I'm going to check the other side. So far, so good. Go up all the way. All right, that's the first locking position. And that's the last one. Now all you do is push on the down button and it's fully locked. Now, as you may have noticed, when doing this, the car actually goes back a little bit. So if you're doing this in your garage and you need to close your garage door, you gotta make sure your car is put all the way forward so you have enough room. So when it does go back, you have enough room to close your garage door. As of right now, I don't think I do, but I'm not doing this because I need to do something right now. I'm actually just demonstrating. I might actually take off my wheels to clean it, put it in the first position so it's not so high up. And as you see, we're sturdy. Look. We are pretty sturdy. And look how high it is to me. My car is lowered and everything, but when it's up in the air like this, I really don't think it matters. So the height is really good. It's sturdy. You have enough room to work underneath. You have access, so if you're sitting, you're able to work on suspension and brakes easily without any problems. You save your back a little bit, especially if you're going to be like buffing or working on any of this right here. It is perfect. And if working underneath your car is a thing that you do, guess what? You have plenty of room. And these lines that look like they're in the way, they could disconnect and you're good to go. All I have to do to get it back down is just disconnect it again. This one's in my way. We're going to disconnect it from here. And now we can move it out of the way. Now let's go underneath. If I could get that. And here I am underneath the car. I have a good, oh my gosh, almost a foot in front of me in the car. So that's plenty of room to work on whatever that you're working on. I have access full underneath, especially with my little thing that I have here. I can go all the way to the end with no problem, except for this dumb carpet that I have. As nice as the QuickJack is and how convenient it is to get it up in the air so you can have the convenience of working on everything, there are some cons. Some of the cons is this thing is very heavy. It is very heavy. Storing it is an issue that I have because I don't have any place where I could hang it up right now. I'm nervous to hang it up because if that thing falls down and hits my car, I'm going to be devastated. So as of right now, I keep them stacked on top of each other in the corner away from everything. So pulling them out, setting them up, and just wrestling around with the hoses and the pump and everything like that is a bit of an inconvenience. Is it going to stop me from using it? No, but it will limit me how much I do use it because of the inconvenience of moving around. And my garage is pretty stuffed with the Mazda truck parts and some old Skyline parts that I have around that I need to get rid of. The Supra is parked kind of kink, like, you know, a little diagonal right now. And, you know, my toolbox is back there, my laser engraver machine's right here. And there's a lot of stuff taking up a lot of space. So having it put away properly is one of the issues I have. I mean, to tell you the truth, I mean, I can't really think of any more cons other than it being big, bulky, and heavy. You know, storage-wise, the convenience of this thing, of using it, is just so helpful. It's very sturdy, like I had mentioned before. You don't have to worry about it moving. You can open your door and close it. You don't have to worry about it moving. Way better than jack stands, and then using a jack. You can leave it up here too if you have enough room. If you've already worked on how far back it's going to go, you can leave it up on here. I had my Skyline up on this thing for like a month just because I could. There are hardly any drawbacks to having this. So if I could recommend getting a QuickJack system, I would highly recommend it because You're not going to find anything else that's going to be as versatile as this thing, who fits a lowered car like this. Because I've seen guys use it on lowered Corvettes, and those things are low, and they don't use big blocks or big blocks like that. They use like skinny little blocks that just barely cover it when you put it in there. So you're not gonna have any problems with that. He has all the contact points. As you see, if you have a truck, you're going to need longer ones, because I think I'm okay here, but I'm just about at the limit of how far you can go before you start needing an extender or a larger one to lift up the capacity of the vehicle. This is a 6000 TL, so I got it on Amazon. I was happy to get it from there, and it was here pretty quickly. They sell it through QuickJack, so I was more than happy with the warranty and everything they had to have behind it. So it was like a no-brainer for me, especially after I got my Supra lowered and everything. I knew it was the best thing to do. Almost forgot, let me show you how you put it down. I mean, that's kind of important, isn't it? So what you do is, after it's clicked in that second position or that first position, go up just a little bit more. You're just going to, well, I need to lift it up just a little bit more. Lift it up a little bit more. You just lift it up and it gets to the round part. You do this side, don't forget to do the other side, and then you start to lower it down. Nothing at the bottom. We're clear to start lowering. And just like that, we're back down. I'm gonna leave them there for a little bit because I don't see my Supra moving anytime soon. I do have to clean it quite a bit before I get it to Fuel Fest. So I got some cleaning up to do, so I might have to jack it up again so I can clean the wheels and tires and suspension underneath there to make it show worthy. Midnight Overdrive, the Big 10, my book that I wrote, is still online at Amazon. You can also go to Audible and listen to it for those who don't want to read the book and just rather drive and listen to it, or work in your garage and listen to the story. It's now on Audible, so you can listen to it to your heart's desire. The voice artist is amazing. So click on the link below for the book and for the Audible link. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you on the next one.